Hello, it's Dr. Parks here, and I here because I've been having the same conversation for the past few days, and I wanted to have the conversation here because we all know what time of the year it is. It is Thanksgiving in a couple of days, and we're all excited about Thanksgiving because, of course, we know that Thanksgiving is a time for family, for friends, for loved ones, and of course, for giving thanks. And so, everybody's really preparing for that. We're all talking about food and where we're going. I am going to Pennsylvania, so I'll be on the road tomorrow. But before that, I always want to make sure that we are conscious of what we're really doing. Now, we know Thanksgiving is about giving thanks and friends and family. And if you have some friends and family that you really care about, I suggest you share this video, because the truth about Thanksgiving is that it is really, if we're honest, it's really about the food. It is really about the greens, beans, potatoes, tomatoes, all of that. That is crazy, but that's what Thanksgiving really is about. Let's just be honest. So we know it's a day where we pretty much celebrate by eating a whole bunch of food. If you have like health goals and you've kind of been watching your diet and you're working on eating well and taking better care of yourself, then things like Thanksgiving, and this isn't just Thanksgiving, it happens with a lot of other like holidays and celebration, birthday, Christmas, all these times of the year. A lot of things are focused around food. And if you're not careful, you can one day, just one meal can just throw you off track. And, sometimes it can be hard recovering from that and getting back on track. So I have a foolproof Thanksgiving strategy that I use for myself, and I've used it. Lots of my patients have used it for years, and it really, really works. So I wanted to come and just share that with you because while I'm at work right now, so I need to hurry up and let you know that you have to have a strategy. You have to have a plan in order for you to be successful and not get thrown off. You have to have a plan. So the strategy is to make sure that you don't feel deprived, because trying to be on a diet or be super good on Thanksgiving, it just doesn't work out. So that's not a good strategy going in. My strategy is to say you can eat whatever you want. It's time with your friends and family, and it's a celebration time. So you should just be able to eat what you want. But you got to eat what you want with some intention around it. You can't just eat all you can eat all day and expect to feel good the next day. So I know every one of us has had those times when you eat probably a little bit too much or a little bit too much of the wrong thing, and you wake up the next day and you don't feel good. And we don't have to do that this Thanksgiving. So here's my foolproof strategy. So remember, share this video if you have anybody in your friends or family circle that you think would benefit from this. Really great strategy. So have breakfast. One of the things that people do sometimes is they decide, hey, I'm going to eat a lot of food later, so I'm just not going to eat breakfast. I'm going to skip breakfast. Have breakfast that morning. I suggest making sure that your breakfast is high protein. You can do a protein smoothie, which is what I generally do, and I have a lot of my patients doing that. Or you can do eggs or some sort of, really high protein breakfast. Do not do any sugar or carbs with breakfast. Just do high protein that morning, because remember, this is a strategy. So first thing you do is high protein breakfast. The second thing you do is probably do a small protein snack mid-morning, because you want to make sure that you're full. Do protein snack and probably something with a little bit of fat. Do some nuts, something like that mid-morning. And then lunch. Do not skip lunch. Make sure that lunch is high protein as well. So you want to make sure you have a smaller lunch, because it is Thanksgiving dinner if you have dinner later. But go ahead and have lunch. Again, lunch is the same strategy as breakfast. You're going to do high protein. So if you're doing protein shakes, you do another protein shake for lunch. If you're not doing protein shakes, you do a nice solid piece of protein for lunch on Thanksgiving Day. I suggest something like a piece of chicken or a piece of fish, but something with a lot of protein in it. Then here's the super duper foolproof way to win on Thanksgiving Day. Right before Thanksgiving dinner, you have to prep this. So if you're not at home, you got to make preparations for this. You got to go to a supermarket, get some stuff, take it with you if you're not able to find this. But you need to have a giant green salad. The biggest salad that you've ever had in your life. Lots of greens, spinach, kale, throw all sorts of vegetables in there, but make sure it's a lot of green leafy vegetables because they are really high in fiber. So you go ahead and you have a big giant salad right before the meal. When you do that right before the meal, it fills you up. So you're going to be full of fiber. You've had protein all day, and that really, really is helpful. So when you finally sit down for Thanksgiving Day meal, you can go ahead and just enjoy. You can have pretty much whatever you want. But you just, at that point, because you've had protein all day and you had a big salad right before dinner, you are less likely to overeat. So you can have a little bit of every single thing that your little heart desires, but you're less likely to go overboard. You're less likely to want to get seconds and thirds. You're just less likely to overindulge, and you can actually sit there, enjoy your meal with your family, and enjoy the conversation instead of just being, over obsessed and over focused on the food. You can actually relax and enjoy the food because you're not starving by the time you get to dinner. That is a plan that has absolutely worked for me, and it's worked for my patients. And I suggest that if you really want to stay on track as much as possible this Thanksgiving, you take some of those things into consideration. So the first thing is to don't skip your meals. Make sure you have breakfast and lunch and probably a few snacks before Thanksgiving dinner so you're not hungry when you sit at the table. And the most important thing is to eat a giant green salad before dinner. And when you eat a giant green salad before dinner, then you're less likely to overindulge. Kevin, I see your question. So you wanted to know what kinds of food are high in protein. I do protein smoothies a lot, and I use like a vegan pea-based protein powder. And I also suggest that you can do things like eggs, chicken. Probably don't want to do turkey before Thanksgiving Day because you'll probably have turkey at dinner. But if you want to, you can do turkey. But my favorite form of protein, honestly, is fish. So a nice big piece of salmon or, beef, like whatever it is that you like eating that is high in protein. That's what I suggest. If you can get your hands on a protein shake, then do that. But otherwise, you want to make sure that you're not hungry all day. And the day after Thanksgiving, you're not really supposed to have Thanksgiving meal all weekend because that's just not good. But if you do decide to do that, just employ the same strategy. Don't just overindulge on Thanksgiving food all day. You can, make sure that if you're going to have leftovers the next day, you do smaller portions of the leftovers because it's not Thanksgiving Day anymore. And you go ahead and make sure that that's not your only meal of the day. You're eating throughout the day. Drink a lot of water. And, again, take the time to connect with the people that are around you. Life is very, very precious, and we have so much to be thankful for, including the food. So we're going to go ahead and really take time to relax and enjoy your environment, enjoy the food, and enjoy the people around you. But Thanksgiving does not have to mean gaining extra weight. It doesn't have to mean that you put on an extra 5 pounds because of one day. One of the really important things, the last tip I have for you before you go, is just to leave the sweets for last. The pies, the cakes, the desserts, those are absolutely like my favorite thing in the whole world. But don't eat those when you're hungry. Make sure that you're completely full before you eat dessert. That way, you're less likely to overindulge in dessert. So you're eating a lot of vegetables during the dinner as well. You can eat whatever you want, but always focus on your veggies and leave dessert for last. If you follow these tips, then you are on your way to having a very successful Thanksgiving, and you're less likely to wake up the day after Thanksgiving feeling, like you shouldn't have done that. I hope this was helpful, and if you found it helpful, go ahead and share it with your friends and family so you guys can all have a successful Thanksgiving. Thank you for watching. Bye.